So what if someone's really nervous about, like, what's something that you have known that you needed to do strategically that you were really kind of nervous of or uncertain about? And how did you work through it?
So like for me, I don't there's not a lot of not like fear is something that that I don't really, I just like feel the fear and do it anyway. So, some I'm so scared about it. Great. You're scared about it. Fantastic. Why is that? Why does that need to stop you? Like, it's like feel the fear and do it anyway. Like, so I never see like fear, as a barrier to doing something. I feel it's just, okay, I'm stepping out of my comfort zone. I'm going to a new place. I'm going to feel a bit uncomfortable. I'm going to feel a little bit kind of like out of my depth. I'm going to feel like I'm a bit of an imposter, but I'm just going to kind of like push through that. And so, I've always taught that when I've been running the youth programs, with the comfort zone. When you push through your comfort zone, you hit fear. When you push through that fear, you have growth. And when you continue to grow, you achieve success. So it's a very simple kind of like model. Sometimes if I feel so fear is something that I haven't just of, I remember saying the hero and the coward have the same fear. The hero does it anyway. So sometimes we think that, these people that are always achieving success, they're never fearful. No, they have the same fears that you do, but they just go, okay, great, I'm just going to do it anyway. So that was a quote that I remember reading like in my early 20s. And so I just kind of believe that to be true. And
Yeah.
that's definitely helped me. Sometimes when I'm feeling like uncomfortable about something, like this is like not really a fear, but it's more like intuition is around, then I might talk to my wife about it, or I might talk to some friends and go, I'm feeling not fearful, but I'm feeling a bit scared or a bit uncomfortable, or not, that this is maybe not the right approach. And then you also follow where your subconscious goes as well, like where your energy goes. It sort of like determines how subconsciously you're feeling about a certain project. And if you're just kind of like, everything is hard work, and you're having to force yourself to get up in bed, and you're having to force yourself to work on something, there's something going on subconsciously that maybe it's not your path. And so that's also a good indication as well, that maybe I need to kind of back off, because if it's not flowing, then maybe it's not the right thing for me.
Yeah, totally. And this is, I think you're a great example of a high performing entrepreneur. And this is what a high performing entrepreneur looks like: knowing what they need to do, getting creative, allowing the ideas to flow, then doing it, iterating, doing it, iterating, next idea, executing, and fears around that whole time. But you've normalized it. And I know there's going to be so many people listening going, well, thanks, Dale. You're a great example of this. Why am I not finding it as easy? But I think that one thing that is underestimated in business is momentum,
Mm.
because when you build and when you get enough inertia to begin with, something does have a movement of its own and momentum of its own. Like Business Blueprint would run without you being there, and you have to attend certain things, and you have to innovate. You can't just not innovate the business, or the business will fail. It becomes a mandatory responsibility of having that thing that you've created in place. Kind of like having a kid. You can't have a kid and then just be like, all right, you're in, and you've got to do everything required to make sure that that child is raised properly. And it's the same thing when a business gets to a point where it's a living being. And so I think for a lot of people, they're nervous of doing those initial actions and making things happen. But once there's momentum and progress in place, it does self-perpetuate.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a really important thing. So Dale, what advice would you give to, if you could go from an absolute blank canvas in business at your current age with everything that you know, and I just took every single business and project that you had on the go, what would you do? Like complete blank canvas from a business perspective. How would you start again? What would your mindset be? How would you be thinking about it?
Yeah, I think that where would I start? I think you've got to start with something that you are.
I want to know you. I want you to get like really in,
Yeah.
just imagine. Because I know when I've run a business for a long period of time, I make decisions because around what's going on. But if I took all of that away from you, Business Blueprint was gone. Like,
Yeah.
if you just feel into it, where would you lean into?
So it would be like, what am I passionate about, right now? I'm still passionate about business. So I probably do something in the business kind of, and I love education. So I'd probably do something in that space. But even if I had different goals and my passions had changed, I'd find something that whereby, time just kind of like, sort of like times just, I can just work at something for hours and it feels like, doesn't feel like work. It just feels like, just feels like you're in flow. So I'd find something that I was really passionate about. And then for me, I'd then find a market, that shares that same sort of like, passion for that particular thing. And then find a problem, that market kind of has that hasn't been sort of solved. And then I think about some type of product or solution that would then solve that particular problem for those people. You've all heard the, saying, a lot of people that they, come up with the product first. That's like putting the cart before the horse. What you need to do is find a market and a problem that you can solve first, and then be the solution to that particular problem. So I've made the mistake before many times of coming out with a product and going, hey, I got this great product, and then trying to think about how I'm going to sell it. It's always better to find a market that needs something, has a problem, and then go solve that particular problem with create a product to solve that particular problem. But then as well, I think that there's just so many opportunities out there with regards to the skills that I now have, to rather than having to be my own company as well, that I actually find amazing businesses that are out there, and then get involved in championing those businesses, because I can, can show them how to grow very successfully. So for me now, doesn't even need to be my own business. If I didn't have Business Blueprint, I probably would be, finding 10 amazing entrepreneurs and then pouring my time into them and help each of them, become $1 million and then a multi-million-dollar business like I've done. And because I get a lot of joy now out of helping other people to achieve success, because I've achieved like my financial goals. I like helping other people to achieve their financial goals as well.